Recently, some new information on the direction and details behind Jurassic World Dominion have been revealed via an interview with director Colin Trevorrow. And in that interview, he gave a very brief description on what to expect from the new movie and how it picks up after the events of the last film, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Today, we're going to be going over what he had to say and diving into how the next film in the Jurassic Park franchise will be tackling dinosaurs being freed on the mainland. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now to jump right into it, this small excerpt from the recent interview begins with the following. Director Colin Trevorrow talks on honoring the past while taking Jurassic World Dominion in a bold new direction. Jurassic World was set in a functioning park, and sequel Fallen Kingdom spanned an island, a boat, and a creepy mansion. Jurassic World Dominion, Colin Trevorrow tells Total Film, is around the whole world. With the creatures and their DNA escaping into the open at the end of the last film, the world is now their playground. Now Trevorrow said, "I'm very much engaged in the idea that dinosaurs are animals that are deserving of our respect and they're deserving of our fear all at the same time, in the way that lions are. So this is a movie that starts to venture into a completely new dynamic and a completely new world in which we have to figure out who has dominion over this planet." The excerpt goes on to say that viewers who saw F9 and IMAX will have been treated to preview footage of Dominion, which begins 65 million years ago, flashing back to the dino's natural habitat for the first time in the franchise, before catching up with a T-Rex rampaging in the present day, 4 years on from the events of Fallen Kingdom. Now, this footage is released online. It's called the Prologue. It's no longer in the final cut. Colin Trevorrow actually confirmed this in an IGN interview a couple of weeks ago, but it definitely does set the tone for the new movie. Colin goes on to say that the ship was more like Noah's Ark, and now we're in a film where they're off the Ark and they have multiplied and people are dealing with those consequences. And this was something that I brought up actually years ago when Fallen Kingdom first rolled out. A lot of people didn't seem to believe me, or they thought that I was making it up, but you can tell really blatantly that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was following a lot of biblical subtext. In fact, I remember when I first saw the preview for the first 5 minutes of the movie at the Jurassic Park 25th anniversary, they open with the Indominus Rex getting one of its rib bones cut, sent up to the surface, and used as material to clone a male Indoraptor. So it's like an inverse of the whole Adam and Eve thing. And I still don't understand how a lot of people didn't pick up on this either, because J.A. Bayona and Trevorrow went on in interviews to say that, just like he does right here, the boat was kind of like Noah's Ark. They had some other ideas they planned with Cain and Abel as far as the Indoraptors go, which I may do a video on in the future. There was actually supposed to be a white Indoraptor that the black Indoraptor destroys and murders in cold blood. But yeah, if you go back, and I don't remember exactly where this is from, the original Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton actually had some subtext to it that scholars noted had something of a Garden of Eden feel when Dennis Nedry took the DNA from Isla Nublar, and that's when everything plunged into chaos, similar to the forbidden fruit in the biblical story. Now, I don't really know where this is going to go in the new movie, but I do think it's pretty interesting that you've got this whole idea of dinosaurs being unleashed all over the world. It's very Revelations, or maybe that could have something to do with the pandemic that just happened last year. It looks like it's going to get very big, very large, and scary for people going forward. Trevorrow then goes on to talk about the animals, saying that he's included 100% pure creatures as they originally existed. You're going to see feathers in this movie, and a lot of things that dinosaur nerds like himself have been waiting to see. Finding the way to make the set pieces thrilling when the scope was so huge, Trevorrow admits was a challenge. You have to come up with a reason why you can't just call an Uber and be saved by a dinosaur, he says. Naturalism is what Colin Trevorrow says informed his directing approach. I love alien invasion movies that feel like this is what it would really look like. And so we had to make a dinosaur movie that felt like, well, this is what it would really be like. And as well as digging into the creature's paleontological history, Trevorrow is also going back to the franchise's roots, with legacy cast members Sam Neill and Laura Dern returning, with Jeff Goldblum, who cameoed in Fallen Kingdom, alongside the current stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. Trevorrow then goes on to repeat what he said last time about the film having an odd structure in comparison to the other movies, and that's probably the one thing that I'm worried about, to tell you the truth. I know they shot a lot of footage for this movie, so if it feels disjointed, that could mean they cut a lot out of it, like a lot out of it, but I'm hoping it's still paced relatively well. It's going to be hard for me to sit there and see Alan Grant's Ellie Sattler, Owen, Claire, Ian Malcolm, Biosyn, Dr. Wu, T-Rexes, Raptors and stuff, and not just hate it because I'm a fan, obviously. I know that bias, but I have been critical of things before in the past that I love, which I think is normal. I do think other films in this series have been given a bad rap, specifically The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and I'm gonna say Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which I think a lot of critiques towards just don't really make sense once you pay attention to the movies. But I will admit that both of those films have crippling flaws that I think you should point out. I mean, the whole lagoon transformation in Fallen Kingdom is stupid. A lot of the stuff to do in The Lost World with poor character development and just the gymnastics scene, like, I do love these movies though, and I am going to admit that if I can tell that this movie has been like hobbled together and cut apart, I'm gonna be a little disappointed by it. I don't think that's wrong at all. I think that's normal for a fan to say. That being said, it is really cool here that he's talking about this movie taking on a darker tone, which is really interesting. The biblical stuff in Fallen Kingdom I thought was very, very cool because it gave Jurassic Park something of a more, I don't know, gothic and more horror-oriented feel, and I am interested to see what they're going to do with that sort of stuff in Jurassic World Dominion. The prologue I thought was really, really cool. The T-Rex attack on the drive-in, it still sucks that we didn't see anybody get eaten, but we know that's going to happen during the course of the actual film. There's been a few other things that have been revealed recently, but they have to do with some very, very specific things in the movie as far as like content goes, which I'll probably save for a different video. But right now, Jurassic World Dominion is set to come out in June of 2022. Colin Trevorrow, all of the cast have been working hard on it. There's going to be feathered dinosaurs, there's going to be more naturalistic dinosaurs that we already saw from the prologue, and there's a lot to look forward to in the new movie. I do want to say that the idea of dinosaurs actually being a real threat in this film, I don't think they're going to focus on them taking over mankind because I don't think that's what the plot's going to be, but it more than likely will be how it's destroyed the ecosystems of other things and how dinosaurs encroaching on man is not as easy to fix as you might think. Personally, I'm excited to see the new movie, and I hope all of you guys are as well, but whatever your own thoughts and opinions are on this subject matter and how it will relate to the Jurassic Park franchise as a whole, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it really means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.